What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Uncle Fred, back in the house once again. I want to say, first of all, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans. I'm wearing my little I guess this is sort of like a military French tiger, France helicopter, military operations hat or whatever, so. But we salute to all the veterans that served, that retired, reserves, um, and all the branches, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard. We salute all of you guys for what you guys do, the sacrifices you make, the things you have to let go of and not do in order that you can do what you do for us so we can maintain and be safe. And I can do this right here and I can, whatever. So we appreciate and thank you for all you guys' service and all that you do every day. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and let's jump on in here. What was a very eventful day for a Thursday in the NFL that ain't got nothing to do with the game being played, but there was a game to be played, So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the game that was on Thursday night, the Ravens versus the Dolphins in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida, and then the unlikely, outcome of that game and some of the plays in that game. Then we're going to talk about Odell finally agreeing on a team, not the team I thought it would be, and I don't know that this will actually fit, but we'll see. And then also, we found out today also you can go home again as Cam finds a home and is going to commence to playing some football this year, and that's good to see. I'm good. I'm happy for that, brother. So we'll see how that goes, and then we're just going to go ahead and talk. First of all, let's go ahead and hit that like, hit the subscribe, get involved, become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I promise you that you will not be disappointed. Go ahead, hit that like, hit that subscribe, tell somebody. We got good content, and we tell it. We tell it our way. We give our opinions. We give our takes, and hey man, I think my takes, they're kind of good, and you may not agree with them. Go ahead and comment. We can't all believe the same thing. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get this thing started. So first of all, there's a game tonight, and this is game number 1 of the week 10 slate of games. And of course, now with the intel that we discussed on yesterday, we would have thought that with all the receivers that Lamar Jackson had at his disposal and his opportunity to work with all 3 of them for the first time this season, would bode well for them. And I was like, shoot, good luck stopping them when he got all them weapons as he's starting to really start to expand his game where, and then the Dolphins, they got the little win over Houston last week. I think, what was it? 19-7 or something like that over the Houston Texans, who's basically have fire sold the season. I don't know what's the right way to say that. And basically giving up on the season, basically just filling out the string. Okay. And they was able to beat them. We don't know about Tua's injury and that sort of thing. He was a game time decision, and finally at kickoff, it was decided that he would not play and Jacoby Brissett would play. So, but we do know also in a second quarter he would go down. But anyway, the game got started, and of course now the Ravens were a heavy favorite. But just like my man Chris Berman always says, that's why they play the games. That's why they play them. Can't go on what the record says, what the tendencies are, how they've been playing this month, how that this team hadn't been able to stop nobody. This team has been unstoppable. You can't go by that. That's why they play the games. So the game started out with the Ravens getting the ball, and they drove 47 yards, 9 plays. Couldn't really get a whole lot of things going, and that kind of was the theme of the game. Ravens offense really never could get on track. Lamar missed, I think it was Sammy Watkins early on a deep ball, and it's either Sammy lost it in the lights or lost the track of it. but he was open. Lamar kind of missed him, but it was catchable, and that kind of was the theme all day. But they went 47 yards on 9 plays, and culminated in a 46 yard, Justin Tucker field goal, and they made it 3-0. So it was 3-0. And then the Dolphins really couldn't get anything going. And then the Ravens got the ball, drove for about 30, 40 more yards on the next play, and then there was a Justin Tucker missed field goal. And Justin Tucker, he just like old girl in the Help. He don't be missing no kicks. He said, old girl don't burn no chicken. Justin Tucker don't miss no kicks, but he missed one tonight. And so it stayed 3-0 until the second quarter, and the Dolphins finally got something else. I mean, the Dolphins really didn't get nothing on Jacoby Brissett. Really wasn't he kind of wasn't good. He was okay, but anyway, they drove 56 yards on 10 plays. And they culminated with Jason Sanders, a 31-yard field goal, and they made it 3-3. And then right before halftime, they drove 8 plays and 84 yards, and Jason Sanders kicked a 22-yard field goal, and that was aided by a 52-yard pass and run. They got him down in the field, which really shouldn't have happened right before the half. They get on the field, and you really not supposed to, let them do that. You're not supposed to. Yeah, because I mean, really, they got the other team got the ball inside their own 20, 25 yard line. It's maybe 40 seconds left in the half. You're really supposed to play that shell and okay, we're not there. But they let old boy get deep, and he caught it, went down the sideline. I think his name was you're gonna make me have to research the guy's name, and I thought I had it, and I don't have it right now. But Dave's able to score a field goal right before halftime, and here we go right here. So anyhow, so it ended up being 6-3 at halftime. And I know that commentators made a comment that it's the Baltimore Orioles versus the Florida Marlins. 6-3. Bottom of the 5th inning or whatever, because it was a low scoring. And to be perfectly honest, like I'm the biggest NFL cheerleader and all this sort of stuff. I'll wave pom-poms for the NFL all the time. Sometimes I don't like some of the rules. I don't like the taunting rule. I don't like sometimes you get a little preferential treatment. I kind of voice some of that stuff, and I don't like the finding. Sometimes I think they pick on guys and stuff like that. But overall, I like the NFL and and everything. But that was a snooze fest in the first half. I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you. Baltimore couldn't get anything going. I think Lamar Jackson was sacked 2-3 times in the first half, pressured 2 or 3 times, hit 5, 6 times, and they really couldn't really get anything. Really couldn't get anything going. And that was really the story of the game. That they really couldn't get anything going. Nothing at all. And so. And you was kind of waiting around. Here we go, right here. Yeah, the dude's name was Ford. Took a 52-yard pass. It was 2nd and 8 at the Miami 33, and he took a 52-yard pass, and that brought it to 1st and 10 at the at the Baltimore 15. and they kicked the field goal. And that's what made it 6-3. So yeah, I couldn't remember what the guy's name was and everything. So anyhow, so 6-3 at halftime. So anyhow, and then the third quarter was really no scoring. It's like a lot of punts, a lot of sacks, and then the second quarter, like I said, well, maybe it was early third quarter. Brissett goes down on a sack, and you could heard him grimace, and he was holding his leg, and we don't know the extent of his injury, was not known at the time. But then they brought Tua Tagovailoa in, who really wasn't supposed to play because he had that injury on his middle finger on his throwing hand. But you got to come in and play. So he came in, and fourth quarter he engineered a scoring drive of a 53-yard scoring drive. Will culminate in a 29-yard Jason Sanders field goal, and it made it 9-3. Now the thing about this, and just to speak to the future and moving the football, they got on their first couple of possessions. Like I said, they made a field goal, missed a field goal. Do you know that after that second possession and that first missed field goal, that they went 7 consecutive possessions with punt 7 consecutive times? And then when they finally was able to string some completions and some first downs together, it was in the fourth quarter, and Lamar Jackson passed to Hollins he passed to Sammy Watkins, and he was hit. It was to the 50, to midfield for 8 yards, and they were at the 42. It was and I think it was like third down, and I don't know what the down and distance was, but anyway, he was hit, and the fumble was picked up by Xavier Howard, who did a dazzling array of runs. He ran, then he cut to the sidelines, then back in, and then back to and kind of like navigated around some guys and hopped in the end zone for a touchdown. I'm like, whoa! Now it's like 15-3, and they went for 2 and didn't get it. So now it's 15-3, and I'm like, whoa, that's getting serious. And they're behind by a couple of scores now, and their offense has not been able to do a whole lot at all. So anyhow, so Lamar got going here, and he took them on a 9-play, 99-yard drive, and it ended with a 5-yard pass from his favorite target, Mark Andrews, the middle of the end zone touchdown, and then the extra point was good, so that made it 15-10. So all right, now we're cooking with a little gas here. All right, that's it. It's just interesting because it was a snooze fest in the first 3 quarters. He throws a little scoring in the first half, but really it was just and I was nodding, trying to watch the thing. Third quarter, same thing. Nothing was going on. I flipped around, watching some NBA game, watching the Clippers and the and the Heat. Watched some of that, and then went back. I ain't gonna, hey, I like sports. So I'm like, ain't nothing happening. I look back and over. So I flip back and forth. I tell the truth on mine. And so it goes back. So they go back, and it was interesting because the Dolphins came back and scored a touchdown of their own. Tua took them on a 6-play, 75-yard drive, and Tua went in for a 1-yard run, and they went up to 22-10. They kicked the extra point, and then it was 22-10. And for all practical purposes, that was all. But the play of the game that nobody really was talking about, they talking about it, but it did. What I'm saying is it don't count. Is that it was like 3rd and 10, 3rd and goal from like the 10-yard line. And Tua, attempted to make a screen pass on the right side of the field, and he hit Robert Hunt, who, yeah, Robert Hunt is a tackle, 47 pounds. Okay, caught that thing, snuck in behind some linemen, got tackled at like the 1 yard line, low, flipped upside down, bounced that thing on the end zone just like that, upside down, with it straight over the end zone, and everybody was going crazy. But I was like, did that get tipped or something? Because then it's like, you knew it was coming. Referee, like, the laundry's on the field. He's like, nah. When you see that, that means illegal touching. So they backed it back up, and I think that's when they end up getting the touchdown with Tua. They end up getting the field goal, the touchdown later on that. But even though it didn't count, man, that was the play of the game. That dude showed some skills, because he got tackled. He had the wherewithal, big as he was, to put that thing upside down in the crook of his arm over the end zone. This big 340-pound dude upside down, trying to, push it over the threshold of the end zone, man. It was he gonna get a lot of Instagram traffic today, because I'm sure his his phone, all that, I'm sure that was blowing up in his locker for that, so hats off to Robert Hunt, man, for that, man. That was a good play, man. Great play. So anyway, that was a great game for the Dolphins, who've now won 2 straight. They're now 3-7. They play the Jets next week. They got a chance to be 4-7. Not saying they're going to the playoffs or nothing like that, but man, they got a chance to make what was a regrettable first part of the season kind of like, we kind of had an okay season. Something to feel good about yourself about. You go, what we're playing, 17 games, you go 3-14. Come on, man. That's regrettable. That's like, man, but if you go, say, 7-10, when you started off at 1-6, that's not bad. If you just saying, I'm just saying, watch out for the Dolphins, because they kind of playing with a little something. The defense, and if Tua can just play, stay healthy, and just play, not turn the ball over and stuff, I still think they can win some games. Okay, good win by the Dolphins. Questionable loss by the Baltimore Ravens. This is one they'll have to be coming to themselves, scratching themselves, like, gee, where did our offense go? Why could we not move the football tonight? Like I said, DeMar Jackson was sacked like 4 times, hit 7 other times that he wasn't sacked. And, I had the stats pulled up here before. They had only 304 yards of total offense. Lamar Jackson was 26 out of 43. Yeah, that sounds good. But if you ain't throwing it but for 238 yards, that ain't, you getting a lot of underneath, throwing a lot of screens, a lot of, and, so they really, so I think they play Cincinnati next, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, the Dolphins play the Jets. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But the Ravens win. The Dolphins win over the Ravens 22-10. Game kind of got a little bit exciting towards the middle to the end of the fourth quarter, but kind of a snooze fest. But but good win for the Dolphins, and they move on. So that's all I got about that. So now let's get to the news of the day that didn't involve the play on the field. Now, we've been talking off and on the last few videos that I've done for you guys, talking about Odell Beckham, the problems he was having in Cleveland, wanting to get out, having his daddy send the video, and LeBron James getting in it, and I know they friends and stuff. I don't like all that foolishness. Let's play the game, man. When you're talking about building brands, you build your brand off of what you do. The main thing got to be the main thing. Your football ain't right, then other stuff really should be right, because you really are a celebrity because of what you do on the field. Okay, we're not trying to be Kardashians where you just famous just for being famous. You should be famous for something. Okay, so, and he really, in the last 4 years, Odell Beckham really hadn't been good, and all hadn't been his fault. Some of it, his body has let him down. Some of it is, he didn't have great quarterback, and he wasn't in the greatest of system to better take advantage of the wonderful set of skills that he has. And bad timing, a bunch, it's just a bunch of things that happened that kind of was outside of his control that kind of contributed to him not being as good as he could have been. Now remember that he was a 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Pro Bowler before he even went to Cleveland. He even had a season in 2015 where he caught like 96 catches for like 1,400 and something yards and like 13 touchdowns. Okay, so. But according to Ian Rappaport, Odell Beckham is signed with the Los Angeles Rams. Now, I mentioned that I thought from a position, I don't know if I should say those together, that the Rams would work, but I don't know how they would fit him in because he comes in as the third best wide receiver on that team. Okay, I thought he would be better served to go to Kansas City or to the Raiders or to even to New Orleans. Okay. And I didn't think, and so but he signs with the Rams, and it mentioned here that he had some contacts with and was looking also to go to Green Bay. And those are two situations Green Bay and the Rams, I'm like, one, because I'm like him or not, I mean, I love his talent, but it's the other things, it's the extra stuff, it's the more concentration on brand building than being a good teammate, than putting the work in and doing the things you need to be doing. Because the minute it was reported a lot of time with the Browns that he's running the wrong routes, he wasn't where he was supposed to be at. He ad-libbing, he's freelancing, And I'm telling you like this, you ain't finna do that for Sean McVay. I'm just letting that be known. Now, the question I had, and I said it to a friend of mine, we were texting back and forth about that, about the news of the day in football and stuff like that. And they said the same thing in the article I wrote that what I thought. It lets me know that my thinking be along with what the people that in the industry be thinking. And my thought was, I even pull up exactly what I said, man, just to show you. I ain't making this ish up. Said it's right here. He was upset because he wasn't getting the ball enough because Stefanski runs a run-heavy offense and play action. How's he going to feel about going to a team where he's the third best wide receiver? I went on to say what you will, but he ain't better than Cooper Kupp. Okay. And as a route runner, he can't touch Robert Woods. Okay. Now he's more talented than Robert Woods, obviously, because he's Odell Beckham. But Robert Woods is a sweet route running dude, man. He runs the smoothest route. I think he may be second or third in the league behind Amari Cooper and Devontae Adams as the best route runners, and Keenan Allen is the best route runners in the NFL. He's in that group. He's a great route runner. Okay. Odell Beckham can't touch him, all right, but Odell Beckham as a receiver with hands and ability, agility, speed, and all this kind of thing, ability to make tough catches and stuff like that. He's more talented than him, but in the offense they're in, no, he can't. He'll be the third guy, and so that means you're gonna get third guy amounts of touches. So if you weren't getting your touches in Cleveland and you upset and you got folks sending in videos and stuff where you're not getting the ball enough, then you're going to be happy getting 5 targets in a Rams offense because you're not going to not give Cooper Kupp his 10, 12 targets. And you're not going to give Robert Woods his 8, 9 targets. Okay? You got to give them their targets, Now, understand this, when teams double them or, whatever, concentrate their coverages toward Woods and Kupp, Odell is going to have some abilities to eat now, but the same sentiment was offered by a guy in the article that I wrote some of my research that I did. Y'all do know I researched this stuff before I come sit down in front of y'all, right? Y'all don't think I just come and just sit down and just start running my mouth. I hope y'all don't think that, because I don't do that. I do my research and stuff. And just sometimes, at my age, sometimes I can't remember everything. that I've researched, and sometimes they'll come to me later. But you get my age, sometimes. But here's one of the things. With his time in Cleveland behind in the 22. Oh, my fault. Read the wrong place. It says, if Odell Beckham wasn't thrilled about not getting the ball from Baker Mayfield, I'm not sure he's going to be ecstatic about playing alongside Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. There is room for a third option in this offense to see a significant role. Obviously, we've seen it before with Brandon Cooks in the past and Tyler Higbee. So that's what he's saying, that he's not going to get the amount of targets he thought he would get, or not the amount he would have got, say, if he went to Kansas City or if he went to the Raiders. He's going to be the number 2 receiver or number 1 receiver, Renfro would be number 2. He thought would be number 1. And really in Kansas City, he'd be like 1A because, he's really an every down receiver. Still not sure Tyreek's an every down wide receiver. He's just explosive and just faster than everybody else, But Odell can give you the full gamut. He can run you the screen pass, the deep digs, the outs, the slants underneath, and then he can get you by you on the deep ball. He can kind of run the whole thing. You just sometimes wonder where his head is at. That's the only thing. That's my only problem with him. Talent is unmistakable. Okay. So anyhow, I just want to let y'all know when I be saying stuff and I read my text, I sent that text at like 2:30 this afternoon to a friend of mine. We was talking about, whenever I get a notification about a thing or something, I go and try to do some research on it. I went ahead and send him the text, and he sends me text when he sees stuff. Anyway, the deal that Odell Beckham signed is worth up to $4.25 million for this year. Some of it's going to be in the salary, and some of it's going to be in incentives, like catches. You on the field, if you touchdowns, first down. I'm sure they got a setup where the more he does, more productive he is, the more he makes. But he's going to get a $650,000 signing bonus or roster bonus, and then he's going to get $750,000 as a salary. So that's $500,000 roster bonus and a $750,000 salary, which is $1.25 million. And then he gets $3 million in incentives, which you put that all together is $4.25 million if he hits all of the marks that he should hit. Okay. So it says here that he went to the Green Bay Packers because he went to the Rams, and he consulted between them and the Packers because they were the teams that were competing for top 2 seeds in the playoffs. Okay. The addition of Beckham has increased the Rams' win total from 11.9 to 12 wins, so I didn't really move the needle that much. And their odds of winning the Super Bowl 56 has jumped from 11.1 to 11.5, so it moved a little bit. This is my concern too, and Beckham is going to a team that is going all out this season, because I saw that, like, dang, they can't get everybody, because my whole question is, dang, how they gonna pay all these dudes? Because they're still paying Jared Goff. They're still paying him. They're still paying. They got to pay Matthew Stafford. They're paying Donald a ton of money. They're paying Ramsey a ton of money. They're playing what's the big offensive lineman, number 77 has been there. They're paying him a ton of money because he's a veteran left tackle. What is his name? Went to LSU. Cannot remember his name. Big dude. Played at Cincinnati in the morning. I can't think of his name right now, but good night. They can't pay anybody. So if they don't get the Super Bowl this year, a lot of these guys on 1-year deals, and they're not gonna be able to re-up them guys. So so he went to a team where he's gonna say it's all a bust. He could have went to the Saints, and they can build some things. He could be on a team that could be winning or be in the playoff contention for many years. So sometimes I don't know. That's my whole thing. With that. So anyway, Rams are currently 7-2, one back of the Cardinals for the best record in the league in the conference. And they just signed Hall of Fame pass rusher Von Miller, who's due and cleared to play this coming Sunday. And so the Rams receiving core now consists of Beckham, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Van Jefferson, and tight end Tyler Higbee. Now, people might not know your man Matthew Stafford, who has thrown for 2,771 yards, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, on 2 of them last week. So he only had 4 coming in the last week. You know, he is throwing for the highest percentage of his throws going to wide receivers of anybody in the league. Okay, I didn't know if anybody knew that or whatnot, and so. But here's something interesting. See, Cooper Kupp was on a Megatron stat. This year he was on a mega year. See, sometimes when you start bringing in these other guys, it's going to dilute the water. Sometimes these guys have clauses in their contracts or something. When he goes to get his next contract, he didn't hit the marks. Now, I mean, so at the end of the day, you want to hit your marks too, because that's how you make your money. Because I'm telling you, these GMs, when you go in to renegotiate these deals and going back in, and you trying to re-up for your next contract, they will say, well, you didn't make this mark here. So because they're using every ammunition they can get to not give you the amount of money that you're trying to get. And they're using every justifiable matrix to say, hey, you don't really deserve 20 million or 18 million. We'll give you 15 million because you kind of didn't reach these. And then see that, knowing full well that they brought in extra guys, that kind of is going to limit your amount of opportunity. See, that's the way they get you. Right now, Cooper Kupp leads the NFL with 74 catches, 1,019 yards, and 10 touchdowns. And that's just over a half a season. Now, for most NFL receivers, that's a good season. You will take that as a season for a 16-game season. That's in 9 games. 74 for 1,019 and 10 touchdowns. Okay. And it's also that Robert Woods, Van Jefferson, and Tyler Higbee have caught, amongst the 3 of them, 107 catches for 1,313 yards and 9 touchdowns. So they're going to the wide receivers more than anybody else. Beckham is likely signed in part to replace Deshaun Jackson, but you know how many catches Deshaun Jackson had in their offense? And it's partly one of the reasons, I guess, why they decided to mutually part ways. He had 8. 8 catches. So basically, he's like a catch a game. Probably 2 targets and a catch a game. Now, I know that, Deshaun Jackson is not the complete receiver that OBJ is, and there are things that you can do. You got OBJ on the field that you can just do because he's on the field. That, if you got Deshaun Jackson, okay, well, he's just going deep. That's all. He's running that 9 route. For all you guys don't know, that's the the go deep route. That's the the deep out. The deep. That's the 9 route. That's basically what Deshaun Jackson runs, the 9 route. Run straight by the guy and gets beats him deep. But you can run every route with Odell Beckham. You can run every route in the route tree with him. Okay. So that's what makes him. So he'll get more than 8 catches, I'm pretty sure, or more, targets. So we'll see what goes with that. And Matthew Stafford's thrown for 2,771 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Rams offense is also just cut off that thing. I know what it's saying. It leads the league in targets to wide receivers. I know what it's saying. I read the article, but somehow the article missed some of that because I remember reading that. So, but anyway, it just kind of left that straight. But anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Now, as a personal, from my personal perspective, because I know that's what y'all want to hear what Uncle Fred say. I think he's talented. I don't know that this fits, though. I really don't. And really, I think he went to LA for branding purposes because he's there. As soon as he got there, LeBron James is like, welcome home, bro. Welcome home. Let's get it. Let's get to it. I'm like, okay, that's just so he can hang out with LeBron and they can do this. Like, dude, you know, in La La Land, the land of dreams and fairy tales and all that, and witchcraft too. Man, I should have said all that. But anyway, all this stuff, everything is in LA, but it ain't really the best place to be if I be trying to be at, but we'll see. And we'll see what happens with that. Understand this. Just because it's a pretty piece don't mean it fits in the puzzle. Remember, you heard that from Uncle Fred. Okay. Just because it's a nice piece don't mean it fits in the puzzle. Okay. A team can only have so many personalities, and then it becomes to dilute and the locker room. Okay. I thought the Rams had just enough talent to do what it needed to do. And you start adding a bunch of things. And like I said, there were other teams I thought that could have better utilized his skill sets and would have been, he could have got enough touches. And I thought, you add him to the Kansas City Chiefs, they winning right away. Okay. They going back to what they were doing. Okay. I know they 4-4 now, 5-4, whatever they are right now. You put Odell Beckham on that team, they're maybe losing at best one more game this season. They're going 12-5. Okay. Best. All right. So it ain't like he goes to that team and they're still gonna suck, because they're not. So, I would be going to where I could best help a team that needed me. Not going where I could get the most fanfare. It's like, oh man, I'm in La La. I'm in, in palm trees, and I'm hanging out with LeBron and all the stars and stuff. Dude, if you notice, you don't hear none of the other Rams in the news, and they're a blue collar team in a extravagant city. You don't ever hear about that. They're about that work. So, he's coming to be a movie star, coming to be a star. He's gonna have a rude awakening, and McVay not having it. So this got a tendency to not work. Okay, but it also has a smidgen of a chance to work well. So we'll see. Now the other story of the day, and we're gonna be done with the video for the night, is I guess you can go home again. Superman, the sequel has begun. Cam Newton re-signed to the Carolina Panthers. I thought I'd never see that happen. I thought he would be done with them. But we do know Sam Darnold had a shoulder fracture on last week's game when they played the oh gosh, I forgot, who did they play? They played New England, right? And so they brought in PJ Walker, and then they also had signed Matt Barkley. Now, Matt Barkley, I didn't realize was even still in the NFL. He's going to be the backup, and they're going to play this week when they play the Arizona Cardinals at Arizona. Good luck with that. Like I said, I don't care if you got PJ Walker, Jimmy Walker, Kenny Skywalker. I don't know who you got. Paul Walker, God rest his soul. You ain't winning that game. Okay. Paul Walker from the movie franchise. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. That Paul Walker, one of my favorite actors. Yeah. But anyhow, so they're gonna have PJ Walker start, and Matt Barkley's gonna be, because he got to pass his physical. He flew into Charlotte today, and with Matt Rule and Tepper, who's the owner, the richest owner in the NFL. Met with them, and we do know Cam Newton got drafted in 2011 by the Carolina Panthers, number 1. First guy ever to throw for 400 yards in the first game. I think it was just the Green Bay Packers, threw for 400 yards and like 2 touchdowns. Won the NFL MVP in 2015, where he threw for 35 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 10 rushing touchdowns. Taking the Carolina Panthers to a 15-1 record, where he faced the number 2 pick in the draft that same year, which was Von Miller, in the Super Bowl. And Von Miller got the best of him, and they won. I think it was like 24 to like 6 or something, like 20 to 6 or something like that. I can't remember the exact score. So here they said here that Everybody knows Cam's a superstar. Said wide receiver DJ Moore. He was there when he was there before because he last played in Carolina in 2019. I think the first or second game, he ended up getting hurt and missed the rest of the season. And they released him at the end of the season. And of course, they ended up getting rid of Rivera after that season and brought in Matt Rule. And Matt Rule started in 2020, and they just wanted to start fresh. And of course, they got rid of Greg Olsen too. And they just wanted to start fresh. Got rid of Greg Olsen, got rid of Cam Newton and some other players and stuff. And I think they had already got rid of Norman. They pretty much got rid of like all of the mainstays. They kept a lot of the young guys, the DJ Moore, and then they ended up getting Robbie Anderson and from the Jets and things like that. They ended up getting, and it's basically like kept McCaffrey because really he's the building block. So he met with Steve Fitter, who's the GM, and Charles Tepper, who's the owner. And they let him know that, it ain't about, 2015, 2016, 2014, all them years. It's about going forward, what we're doing going forward and what you can bring and what we're trying to build here now and what you can do to contribute to that. So, and that's good because sometimes we like to be nostalgic and things of that nature, but, it's all about going forward. And I think Cam Newton has earned the right to be able to be on an NFL roster for all he's done in the NFL. And, he's, come in and done his part, humbled himself, and he went to New England, conducted himself well, led that team. I mean, he just wasn't healthy. He ended up getting COVID, and he ended up, not coming back and not playing as well because, it affects different people in different ways. And I think he needed an opportunity to display that. And what better way than to go back home, man? So basically, he didn't play with two teams. He played with Carolina and New England. He didn't play with nobody else. I hear you, Cam. So anyway, Newton flew to Charlotte on Thursday morning to meet with David Tepper. I said Charles Tepper. David Tepper and Scott Fitterer. And Newton is expected to practice Friday. And Rule is eager to see where he is physically. And I would be too, because I bet he's going to be in the best physical shape he's been in the years. He really hasn't played. He's had time to train. He's had time to get his fitness and stuff under control and stuff like that. And I know he really wanted to play. So I'm kind of excited to see where he's at. And then people forget. It's like we was talking about Odell Beckham in the last segment. Odell Beckham, for all he's only 28, 29 years old. Cam Newton's only 32. Brady's playing that, 44? Okay. I know Cam, people think Cam Newton's only is. He's 32. An exorbitant amount of punishment. Rule said, and Cam let him know he was vaccinated. Okay. Here's the stats here. Cam played 125 games for the Panthers. Passing yards average of 232 yards, and QBR average of 55. Not quite passing, but that's okay. 1.7 touchdown to interception ratio. You got to get that over 2. You got to get that over 2. You need to have a 2-to-1 interception to touchdown interception ratio. So that's just like having 10 touchdowns and like 8.5 interceptions, like that. You can't do that's not gonna fly. He's got to do better at that. He's with the New England Patriots 15 games and average 177 yards passing and QBR of 39.4, which is not good. Okay. Rule says he thinks the Panthers can win now with the league's number 2 defense and a healthy Christian McCaffrey. That's the key. If that kid is healthy, there's a lot of things you can do. Can you imagine doing a zone read with Christian McCaffrey in the lineup, and you got Cam Newton faking it and taking off and running, or you don't know if he got it. He done slipped it to McCaffrey, and he in the open court. You're not getting that dude, man, if he's healthy. So, but anyway, Cam last played for Carolina the second game of the 2019 season before being sidelined with an aggravated Liz Frank injury suffered in the third preseason game. So we'll see. But that's exciting news. for the league, exciting news for the Carolina Panthers. And they're thinking, you know, we're 4-5, which is disappointing because they were 3-0 until they ran into the Cowboys, then the Eagles, and the Vikings, and the Patriots. Yeah, like hey, everybody start beating them, you know. So, but yeah, they're 4-5, right? Yeah, they're 4-5. So I don't know, but it's good for Cam. It's good for the NFL. So it's a bunch of exciting things happening today in the NFL. So good. Not then the two things that's the most exciting didn't involve the game on Thursday night. So anyway, that's all I got for tonight. You know, hope everybody had a great Veterans Day. All I did, I spent all my day running around chasing tires, man, for my vehicles. That's all I did today. So, yeah, that's what I did. You know, I'm glad to be able to do that. And like I said before in my opening, thank you to all your veterans for all you do, for all the sacrifices you make, that you do to keep us safe and keep the system that we got here running smoothly. You do what you do so that we can do what we do. We thank you for your service each and every day. That's all I got from the desk of Uncle Fred. Giving you the latest of all the NFL, Dallas Cowboy, Alabama Crimson Tide, and other sports news, occasionally some NFL and NCAA, college football news as we started getting towards the college football playoff. I'm going to start to become more and more involved in that, see how these things shell out. Right now we know Georgia's number 1, Alabama's number 2, Oregon's number 3, and I believe Ohio State is number 4. So we'll keep an eye on that as that thing goes along. And you know, Roll Tide, I'm going there all day long. Alabama all day long, man, all day long. So we're gonna see how that goes. But that's all I got for that's Uncle Fred. You guys have a great day, and I'll be back with you guys on Saturday to give you my recap, my preview on the Cowboys Cowboys game. Thank you. You guys have a great day.